Today we continue with our class Shabbat Kitchen. Today's class number 7. And we start with Sefer Shmiras Lashon. And today's topic is the way of a Jew. And it says, Tana Devei Eliyahu, Rabbah, chapter 28 states, the Holy Man, blessed be He, said to Israel, my beloved children, is anything I like that I should have asked of you? HaShem said, right? People think that they doing a favor, doing mitzvahs, right? They're doing special favor to HaShem. That's what heretics say. Right? All I ask of you, that you love one another, and you honor one another, that you respect one another. In this way, no sin, robbery-based deed be found among you. Meaning, if you love one another, nobody is going to hurt one another. So that you will remain undefiled forever. Thus it is written, He has told you, O man, O man, that there is good. I'm sorry, O man, what is good? That what HaShem seeks of you. Only that doing justice, loving kindness, walking in humility, humbly, with HaShem, your God. It's from Micha 6:8. Okay. It happens that one fellow, if it happens one fellow's acted toward one must. One must erase matters from his heart and seek to do good in every way with that person, just as he would with any other Jew, right? As nothing negative have ever happened between them. This is what the Torah requires of us, as it is written. So basically, somebody hurt you and you have to treat him as nothing ever happened. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Is it possible? If Torah says it's possible, it is possible. But is it easy? It's not easy. Okay. You shall not take revenge. So, okay, as it is written, you shall not take revenge and you shall not bear a grudge against the members of your people. You shall love your fellow as yourself. Vayikra 19:18. Zohar states, Parasha Miketz, page 121b. Note the following. Not only did Yosef did not repay the brothers in kind for they having sold him, but he acted toward them with kindness and truth. Such is always the ways of the righteous. Therefore, the Holy One, blessed be He, forever watched over them in this world and the next. In out of all of the people, he could have held a grudge against his brothers for selling him into the slavery, but he did not. Second. All right. Let's continue. We continue with Shabbat Kitchen. We start in the chapter number 4, page 58, and the topic reheating and thoroughly cooked food. That's I think I don't want to say it's the most important topic, but it's one of the very, very important topics. Okay. So number 1, introduction. In chapters 2 and 3, we learned that certain cooked foods may be reheated on Shabbos. There are fully cooked dry foods, even cold, yes, and fully cooked liquids that have not cooled completely. That is still suitable for warm as a warm drinks. However, even with these foods, certain restrictions apply as to the methods of reheating. This chapter discusses the various methods of reheating, those permitted and those forbidden. Included is a preliminary discussion of the blech and related halachas. Okay. So first, the basic idea that we learned before, so it is possible and permissible to reheat. First of all, first condition, all of the foods must be completely cooked, right? So we said if it's cold, completely cold, from refrigerator. Otherwise, even the room temperature. So only solid foods. And liquids you can reheat only if they're not completely cooled. As we said, suitable as a warm drink. Or for example, soup, it's still warm, right? Of course, you want a little hotter, but if it's still warm, and you would eat it like this, I mean, even if you're not hungry, so that's still warm. Okay. So part number 2, the prohibition of placing cooked food on flame. Okay. Even in a case where cooked food or drink may be reheated, one is forbidden to do so by placing directly over flame or the sort or any source of heat normally used for cooking. So basically, it doesn't matter if you have gas stove, you have electric stove, you have other things, right? You have slow cooker, or well, any other things that actually can cook. So you cannot put it on open fire. You're going to see it must be some kind of separation. The sages enacted the prohibition known as initially placing on a direct source of heat, because even when the belacha of bishul does not apply, bishul is cooking, right? Putting food in a flame resembles cooking, and may lead to actual cooking. Okay, so what we're saying here is that this prohibition initially placing on a direct source of the heat. So we said before that if it was before Shabbos left on a source of heat, even without blech, on an open flame, there is no problem. You can leave it be, even though it's not proper, but after the fact, there is no problem whatsoever, and you can eat the food. You would not be allowed to return to this flame once you take it out, but after the fact, no problem. So, but if it was taken out, let's say from the blech, you are not allowed to put it on an open flame. In some cases, we're going to see in what you're allowed to return on a blech, but not an open flame, never. Okay, and the explanation that resembles cooking. That's how we cook the whole week, right? That's you put a pot on a fire, and that's how we cook. Continue. Therefore, cooked foods may not be warmed up on Shabbos on a flame, right? One more time, I want to stress, it says warm up. So if you left it before Shabbos, there's no problem. On a flame, an electric wrench, or inside the oven, and so on. So, I mean, in all of these situations. A blech is discussed in section 2 of this chapter. Okay. Section 2. Okay. No problem. A pot, a top of another pot. That's what we were discussing, right? Pot on top of another pot. It is permissible to reheat the fully cooked food. So one more time, stress is on fully cooked food or baked food by placing it on top of a pot that is on a flame, not covered by blech. This is permitted only if the lower pot contains food. However, if the lower pot or a pan is on a blech, one may place a fully cooked or baked food on top of it, even if pot or pan is empty. So, okay, so I'll try to understand. Unfortunately, I didn't bring anything to show you. I had to look up to check what we're going to learn. But basically, let's try to explain without demonstration. So on they're saying that if you have open flame, on this open flame we have a pot. There is no problem, right? With the food, let's say there is a soup, and it's boiling, simmering, whatever. You have a pot with the food. So on that top, right, on the top of that pot, you can put another pot, right, with your food, whatever you want to warm up. So basically, you're showing it to the whole world, and you're reminding yourself nobody cooks like this. So you're doing only to reheat whatever in the second pot on top. Okay. But if you have a blech, so blech is like a metal sheet, like I would say most of them, all of them that I saw from aluminum, right? Aluminum sheet to cover the to burner or burners. So usually it covers the whole top of the stove, right? 4 burners, 5 burners, whatever people have, 6, I don't know, 10, whatever they have, right? And on top of this metal sheet, which is called blech, so you put pot, and in this case, since the flame, the open flame is already covered, so they say that doesn't matter. You can put this pot even without food, normal way, or upside down, doesn't matter. So, and then does not have to contain food. And on top of that, you can put your pot with whatever you wanna warm up. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so all right, so let's continue. Of course, when you put when you don't have this blech, so of course you cannot put the pot upside down because you must have food, which is logically. Continue. Near flame. Okay, fully cooked or baked food may be placed near flame for reheating. So near flame, of course, everybody understands it's not going to like really warm up, but it can warm up to some degree. Maybe you really need such a hot food. Yeah, you can put there, no problem. C, on electric hot plate. A hot plate that has only one temperature setting, that it has no temperature control knob, is not used for cooking, thus only for keeping food warm. Such a hot plate may be used for reheating cooked or baked foods. There is a solids, dried foods, and liquids that have not been completely cooled off. Of course, the hot plate must be connected before showers. Okay, I'm going to explain it. However, it is forbidden to place the food on a hot plate with adjustable timer setting on showers. Adjustable temperature setting on showers. Okay, so let's try to understand. So hot plate, many people today are using hot plates. So first of all, the most kosher hot plate is the one without the regulator, right? It's like the most basic one. You just plug into the wall, into the outlet, and that's it. That's the most kosher. All of the like fancy schmancy, when you can adjust the heat, it might be used for cooking. That's why it is not allowed, right? Or they say, or at least does not say here. Maybe they're going to say it in a practical application. So you always can remove the knob, right? Or you can cover it to show, like to remind yourself, I'm not going to change to regulate the temperature. As we were saying in one of the first chapters, it's one of the ways how to accelerate the cooking. You increase the heat, or opposite, right? How you extinguish things, you make it lower. You understand? So this knob, regulation knob, actually creates an issue. Okay, so one more time. We said only completely cooked dried foods, right? Or liquids that not completely cool off. Okay. Continue. D, in a warming drawer. Similarly, a warming drawer that has only one temperature setting. For example, it has no temperature control knob, is not used for cooking, but only for keeping food warm. These two may be used for the reheating cooked or baked foods on showers. There is solid dried foods and liquids that have not been completely cooled off completely. A warming drawer that has the adjustable temperature setting may not be used on Shabbos for warming the food up initially. So I mean, it's exactly the same as a hot plate. It's just different device to warm up the food. This drawer. I mean, you put it inside, you put it on top of it. I mean, it's exactly the same procedure. First of all, one more time, only dry foods that are completely cooked, or completely cooked liquids that are not did not cool off completely. Okay, and one more thing, one more time. Again, this regulator, the temperature regulator is an issue. So as we said, you can take it off, you can cover it, but just leave it like that is not allowed. That's the problem. Okay, next one, E. So meaning that a person might be tempted, for example, if husband or wife put on one setting because they sell it, or kids were playing with that, right? And they just realize in the middle of Shabbos, like guests are coming in 15 minutes, and the food on a heat like in position number 1 out of 9. So I mean, they would be tempted to do something. You understand? So out of embarrassment in front of the guest, they might be tempted. So, but if there is no this heat control now, there is no problem whatsoever. What we're exactly going to do? I mean, that's the safest way. Those are the cheapest. I would say the cheapest and the most kosher for us. Okay. Next one, E. In a clearly shown for cooked foods only. It is permissible to immerse fully cooked foods in a clearly shown that is off the flame. We actually spoke about it in a previous chapter where we were talking about immersing, right? So one more time, it is permissible to immerse fully. Okay. So our chapter is how to reheat. I apologize. So I mean, we learn about immersion, but that's actually the way how you can reheat. So it belongs to 2 chapters actually. This idea. Exactly. It is permissible to immerse fully cooked food in a clearly shown that is off the flame. For example, a piece of cold cooked chicken may be placed in a pot of the hot soup after the pot has been removed from the source of the heat. Okay, see chapter 3 and chapter 7. Okay, chapter 7 is actually, we didn't get to it. Okay. However, baked items may not be reheated, may be reheated only in a dry, clearly shown. Okay. So, of course, I mean, we said that it's good. There is a cooking after baking, right? And last chapter we finished discussing all of this, the status of the ladle. Not we finished, but it was one of the topics. The status of the ladle, meaning we were trying to figure out if the soup is so hot, hotter than Yad Seleda's bowl, if you can put pieces of challah or matzah in your actually bowl, right? So we said it depends on the status of the ladle, if it's a secondary vessel, not klisheni, or it's actually clearly shown like a pot itself. Okay. So next one, F, in a hot oven that is off. Right? According to some authorities, one may place dry food, cold foods, cooked or baked in a hot oven that has been turned off. This can be accomplished by turning off oven before Shabbos and turning it off right before Shabbos. On before Shabbos and turn off right before Shabbos by setting the timer to make it off on Shabbos. One more time, turn it on before Shabbos and turn it off before Shabbos. or by setting timer to make it off on Shabbos. Okay, so all right, so it's very interesting. Two things with this oven. This is thing, and with that's what we do on Friday night in the summer, right? When we don't want to have black because it's going to be too hot in the summer. So we would preheat the oven and leave the food in the oven, right? It's of course the heat is off, so the light is off also. If you open the door, there is no problem, right? And that's it. So and then food is still warm. Hot, sometimes even hot, depends what are you going to leave there, right? Or it's the second thing that they offer. So if you put if you connect your stove through the timer, so you can set, let's say, even if you did it before Shabbos, so you can set a certain time, so it can turn off after Shabbos, after the Shabbos started, basically. So you want it to keep warm for, I don't know, for another 2 hours, let's say. So there is also no problem, right? The only thing that it has to be turned off by the time you want to open, because that's going to be a problem, right? Why is it a problem? When you open the stove door, the cold air, I mean compared to inside, let's say you have, I don't know, to keep it warm, maybe 150, 200 degrees, I don't know what, depends on the food, but let's say 200 degrees, right? So once you open the door, so the temperature is going to drop. Let's say in your house you have 75, right? So it's going to drop significantly. Now the thermostat is going to ignite the oven again, right? It's like you're creating fire, even if it is indirectly, but it's inevitable for sure. If you open the door in the stove while it's still working, it's going to go on. That's the issue, right? So that's why exactly we said. So make sure that it's going to turn off in before you need the food. And as we said, it's going to stay warm for some period of time. So I mean, to be on a safe side, I mean, even half an hour and 40 minutes, if you don't open the door, it's going to keep warm. I mean, even, I don't know, maybe 1.5 hours or so. There is no problem. Okay, continue. Okay, actually finished. Continue next. G. An electric appliances that goes on during Shabbos. Heating food in appliance that is turned off electronically on Shabbos. For example, timer built into appliance, a separate Shabbos clock, is a subject to the much of controversy. So that's the issue. I mean, we don't. Let's see what they say. I mean, we try not to do it. Never. I mean, not try. We never do it. Right. So to turn off, it's a different story. Turn off is a different, but to turn on, that's okay. So let's see. So one more time, and we're going to explain exactly what they mean. In electric appliance that goes on during Shabbos, heating food in appliance that is turned on electronically on Shabbos, there is a timer built into the appliance. So it's like what do they call it? Delay start, I think. In all the slow cookers, I mean, fancy schmancy, they have delay start. A separate Shabbos clock, a separate timer that you plug into the outlet, and then you plug in your your appliance into the timer, right? So it's subject to much controversy. Number one, permitted the timer under certain conditions. Some authorities permit using the timer to turn on an appliance that will heat food, but only if all of the following conditions are met. Okay, so let's see. A, the food must be completely cooked before Shabbos. Okay, got it. B, reheating element must be covered by the proper blech, as detailed in chapter 5. Okay. And C, food must be placed in the appliance that is inside of the oven or a crack pot or a hot plate before Shabbos. So let's read. I mean, so let's discuss the first two, and because they like straightforward and easy, but number 3 is not so easy. Okay, so try to understand. So A, so three conditions basically. Let's say so. In these stages, whoever agreed to for us to turn on electric appliance on Shabbos via this slow cooker or built-in device, right? So this is 3 conditions. Food must be completely cooked before Shabbos. That's in every case. Otherwise, you would not be allowed to reheat it. Okay, got it. B, the heating element must be covered with a proper blech. So even if you have what is it, the hot plate, still you have to put a blech. So what is the blech in this case? It would be like let's say this aluminum foil, right? Make it I don't know, two layers, 3 layers, like or some like heavy duty. You don't want to burn it, right? And it's going to be proper blech. But the condition number 3 is very interesting. So let's see. The food must be placed in the appliance, right? There is inside the oven or a crack pot or on a hot plate before Shabbos. So I'm not sure exactly what do they mean by that, because I mean if you're going to put food there before Shabbos, I'm not sure how exactly is going to work, because I mean the food is going to spoil. So for example, if you need it for tomorrow morning, how is it exactly it's going to help you if timer is set on 9 a.m. next morning, right? You're not going to leave food there, it's going to spoil. Okay. Okay, so let's see, maybe they're going to explain. I'm not sure how this number 3 works. Okay, so 2, permitting a timer for turning off. Other authorities forbid using the timer to set the oven to heat food on Shabbos, right? Okay, even under the aforementioned conditions. So we basically always try and follow this opinion. We never use that like to turn on Shabbos. Nevertheless, they permit to use the timer to turn off appliance that was turned on before Shabbos. So that's what we and other people rely on. When you have a slow cooker, for example, right? So you don't want to like run and dry all this time, right? Until let's say your Shabbos day meal. No problem. There is a food in the heat is going somewhere. But once you took this food out, like this insert from this from the slow cooker, you took it out. That's the problem. So I mean, where all of this heat is going to go to? So it can create a fire hazard, I think. Right? Even if it's running on warm only mode. Right? So what we do? So we have this timer, and it even though there is a timer in what is it in a slow cooker, but we're using the separate timer. And the reason for this is very interesting, because this timer in a slow cooker, like a slow cooker, when it stops working, when it turns off, it makes this sound. Sounds like some beep, some kind of music that it's actually finished, and that's not what we want, right? And when you open also when you open the lid, it makes some sounds, like, right? So that's why we prefer to turn it off completely, right? By the like standard timer, and then we can use it. Okay. Otherwise, you would not be allowed to open the lid, because it's going to make sound. even so, it's going to make sound. Even the cooking process is off. That's the issue, because it's still attached to the wall, to the outlet. Okay. So number 3, prohibiting a timer except for lights. Maran HaGaon Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal held that even stricter opinion. He was vehemently opposed to the use of the timer for any purpose other than controlling lights. I think he also added for air conditioner, right? Because I mean, with lights, you need lights because you want to go to sleep, and you need some kind of lights, right? Or even in the living room, let's say, right? Or your dining room. So you need only for a few hours at night, let's say, right? And you need for a few hours in the morning, during the morning meal. So why would you burn all of this electricity, especially if you have, like, I don't know, a chandelier with a few bulbs and I don't know. So it's costs a lot of money. So people, that's why they allowed, and plus, right? I mean, yeah. So they allowed this and air conditioner. Also, you don't need air conditioner everywhere. So when you're there, when you're home, of course you need air conditioner. But otherwise, why should you run it like this? So everybody have timers, basically, at least for these two. For turning off the slow cookers, I think many people do have. I think. Okay. Summary: cooked foods may not be reheated in a way it resembles cooking, as we said, right? For example, on a flame or inside of the oven that is on, right? That's I mean, if oven is off, so that's not cooking. But only via unconventional methods. For example, a top of another pot. So if you have pot, as we said, with a cooked food on even on an open flame, right? So you can put on top of this another pot that you want to warm the food inside which you want to warm. Then next example we gave near the flame. The next example we gave on a not adjustable hot plate. The next one we said in a non-adjustable warming drawer, right? And next in a klish rishon, that is all of the flame. So if food completely cooked, we can put inside a piece of chicken or something. In a non-adjustable warm, or in an oven that is not on. Okay, so it's still hot, right? So you can put the food and it's going to stay warm. No problem. Or stay warm and even reheat a little. Continue. Baked foods may be reheated in the same way, though not in clearly shown. There is off the fire. Okay. Meaning if it's there is some food still in there. Okay. Continue. There are different opinions regarding using timer to heat up foods. So that's what we say. So the most lenient, as we said. So I mean, if in case of the need, of course, we can rely on that opinion. So please don't go crazy. So as I'm just not sure about this this condition about the completely it must be before Shabbos. So this third condition is maybe it's not written well, or they're should explain better. I don't know. The food must be placed. I'm going to read one more time. The food must be placed in the appliance. There is inside the oven or a crack pot or a hot plate before Shabbos. I mean, sometimes it's going to stand. So if it's covered with lids for sometimes, I don't know for how many hours it's going to stand like this. They're not going to food not going to spoil. But how many, like, it's not going to stand the whole night, even though it's like even though it is completely cooked food. I don't know. Okay, halachas of the blech. So the best, I mean, the straightforward way is to use this blech. Okay, so that's what our ancestors were using for many generations. Okay, so it says the halakhic purposes for blech is divided for halakhic purposes. The blech is divided into 3 areas. So 3 areas. Number 1, area directly above the flame. So basically, so just so you understand, so it's, the blech is, usually people leave only one burner on, like on a lowest setting, because why would you want to waste so much gas or even so much electricity, right? And plus you have this blech which is covered, and since it's a metal, it's going to get hot, right? With this time, even though you put it on the lowest setting, and it's going to warm up all the area of the blech. Of course, not as much as right above the flame, but also it's going to be pretty hot, right? So now we're breaking up into areas. So area number 1, area directly above the flame. So we understand it's going to be the hottest place. Okay. Area number 2, the area near the flame, in which the food may be heated to Yatzaled's bowl. So basically, the regular stoves have 4 burners, right? So even the smaller one, 4 burners, standard. So of course you're going to leave only one. The closest to you or furthest to you. People use the closest to you. So it's like on the left, on the right, well, whatever you want to do, right? And so it's going to be the hottest place. So and next to it is going to be the one that is not as hot, but still hot, in a sense that it can bring the pot or the contents of the pot to the temperature of Yatzaled's bowl. So when the hand records. So we don't say in 5 minutes, 3 minutes. It could be 1 hour, 2 hours. But still, it's going to get the contents to this temperature. So in this case, we always advise our students don't leave everything on till Shabbos, right? So experiment during the day, even not on Friday. Do on Monday, do on Sunday. Whenever you're not in a rush, there is no pressure. So just do live well. Let's say if you can gas stove on a Mark 1, let's say, right? 1, 2, or whatever you want, low, and see how long it's going to take you to warm up some kind of food, right? And you see maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. I don't know. It depends on the food, right? In this area, right above the flame, and the next adjacent areas. So experiment before Shabbos. Don't start like going crazy and breaking Shabbos on Shabbos. That's not proper, right? Okay, so area number 2, and next to the area, the adjacent area, and then next to the area above the flame. So it's number 2. Number 3, the parts of the blech that are furthest from the flame, there is the edge, where the food cannot be heated to Yatzaled's bowl. As we shall now see, different halachas applies to each of these areas. So basically, like it's diagonally. So if you left this near right, near left, this was a burner. So the opposite, the diagonally opposite, right, and on the right, on the further burner, it's going to be the lowest temperature. Most likely, it's never going to reach Yatzaled's. Most likely, maybe. Again, it depends on what temperature you're going to leave this your burner. If you're going to make it on medium, it's going to get to Yatzaled's boy even the furthest. It's going to be very hot though, but that's a different story. Okay. As we shall see now, different halachas apply to each of these areas. Okay, so maybe 1 second, let me see. 1 second. Okay, so yeah, we're going to finish this blech. Okay, A, placing food on a blech. Cooked foods that were not on a blech before Shabbos may not be placed over the flame, area 1, right? Or in a section of the blech that were they could get Yad Soladas Bo. Since this area are suitable for cooking, it is also it's only permissible to warm up foods in the edge of the blech where they cannot become Yad Soladas Bo. So Yad Soladas Bo is in Fahrenheit is 110 degrees, so it's a lower number, and in I think in Celsius I think we said 70. I don't remember what we said approximately, but you can convert 110 to, so it's like the strictest opinion in this case, right? So one more time. So if the foods were there before Shabbos on the blech, there is no problem whatsoever. You can, for example, if they were above the area 1, right, directly above the flame. So in the morning, on Shabbos morning, you can take it from refrigerator and put on the same area. And same with whatever food was in area 2, next to this area 1. So you can take the food and put it in that area. There is no problem whatsoever. Because we said why? Because it is area, still second area, Yad Soladas Bo. It can bring to Yad Soladas Bo. And we said Yad Soladas Bo is what? Is the temperature of cooking. Right? But if it was not on the blech, person forgot. So usually it's proper to have everything on the blech before Shabbos, and then you would be allowed to move it around. Right? That's the proper. But if a person forgot or if whatever happened, doesn't matter what happened, so he can or she can put only on that further away area. So it's not going to be very hot, but it's going to be still a little warm, which is also good. Okay, so reheating pots in a blech. Pots on a blech. Okay. Foods that are left in area 3. So as we said, the furthest on the edge of the blech, there is not Yad Soladas Bo, may not be moved into Yad Soladas Bo area 2 on Shabbos. Okay, so here we go. So now we're talking about moving around. So many times you don't need to put like on a hottest spot, because it's going to burn the food. As we said, the food is completely dry, right? So high temperature is also not good. So even though for some period of time you want to put it in the area 1, but after sometimes you want to move it to area 2, right? So you don't need that hot. So you have to keep it in mind. But if it was left in area 3, which is never Yad Soladas Bo, you cannot move it to area 2 or area 1. That's of course restriction. Continue. Often when several pots are left on the blech on Erev Shabbos, one or more are placed in area 3, the edge of the blech. There is not Yad Soladas Bo. This may not be moved closer to the flame, area 2, into the area where they can become Yad Soladas Bo. So which is a problem. So I mean, if you don't have too many pots, right? Or usually for example, we warm up in this aluminum containers, and they're stackable, so you can put one on top of the other. That's what we do. So all of them are in area 2, let's say, right? Or area 1 or area 2, and you need to have them only for some time, right? So for some time, and when the Shabbos begins, you can write. Let's say she lights up the candles. Woman lights up the candles, and she can remove whatever she does not need for today, right? For the Friday night, and put it in put it away basically. So we only need few minutes before she lights the candle. He lights the candles, right? Until because with the light of the candles, they accept Shabbos, and that's it. So basically, it was before Shabbos, during Shabbos, right? And now you can take off the blech. So all you need only a few minutes, and then you can easily return to the blech. Okay, so it was number two. Number two, fully cooked foods left within the Yatzalat Bo area 2 at the onset on Shabbos may be moved directly over the flame area, right? On the flame area 1 on Shabbos. So basically this area 2 or area 1, they're interchangeable. So the only difference, the way I see it, it's only time matters, right? So in area 1, it could get to Yatzalat Bo. In area 2, it could get to Yatzalat Bo. The only difference in maybe in area 1, it's going to get hot in I don't know, in 20 minutes, 15 minutes, but in area 2 it's going to be get hot in I don't know, 35 minutes. That's 30 minutes, 35. Yeah. Basically, it's the same thing. That's why it is allowed to move back and forth. It should be noted that since the exact temperature Yatzalat Bo is unclear, this rule applies only in the area that is 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is considered Yatzalat Bo. Okay, so here they say like a more stricter opinion, right? Yatzalat Bo. So if you want to move from area 2 to area 1, so it must get in area 2 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, meaning it's pretty hot. Basically, that's what it is. But as I said, it depends on what level of the heat you're going to leave your regulator. Number 3. So cooked foods that was left directly above the flame, area 1, or Yatzalat Bo area 2, before Shabbos, and was moved on Shabbos to non-Yatzalat Bo area 3, may be returned to its original position, as long as it is still warm, and people will still enjoy it as a warm food. Return a pot to the blech after it was taken off, discussed in chapter 6. Okay, that's not our subject now. So let's go back to this. So we said that if food was in area 1, as directly above the flame, or area 2 right next to it, before Shabbos, right, and then when Shabbos starts, and then you move to to the perimeter, right, away from the heat, right? For example, you don't want to overheat. You see that people are not coming. You're expecting guests, and they're not coming, and you don't want to overheat and like basically burn or dry the food, right? So you can put in this colder area, right? And then you can move it back. There is no problem. So since it was initially in area 2 or area 1, you can move to area 3, and of course you can move to area 2 or 1, whatever you want. Okay, but it's not. We're not talking about returning what you can return, what you cannot return. So we just return meaning after it was taken off the blech. We're not talking about this at this point. We just say dry solid foods, of course, solid foods, or still warm liquids. That's our discussion for now. Continue. Summary. The hot area of the blech, there is Yatzalat Bo, is suitable for cooking. Cold, cooked foods may not be placed there on Shabbos to warm it up. Okay, so one more time, and we're going to explain. The hot area of blech, there is Yatzalat Bo. So as we explained, area 1 and 2, right? It doesn't say, but we know. Is suitable for cooking, so meaning because it can get to Yatzalat Bo, and it's minimum temperature required for cooking. Cooked foods may not be placed there on Shabbos to be warm up. Okay, so of course we said if it was not there before Shabbos. Okay. Cooked foods. Okay, continue. The edge of the blech, so the area number 3, as we discussed, there is not yatzel bo, is not suitable for cooking and may be used for up this cooked food. Okay, so meaning that we're not there before Shabbos on the blech. So one more time, the proper way is to have everything that you're planning to warm up on Friday and on on Shabbos morning. So you have to have all of them on the blech in the beginning of Shabbos. So then you remove whatever you don't need. That's it. That's the basic rule. So even if you don't need right away, right? For example, you go to synagogue, right? So you can remove. So it was on a blech in the beginning of the Shabbos, on Saturday Shabbos. You go to synagogue, you come back, I don't know, and 1 hour later. So you can put the food back on the blech. There is no problem. So why? Because it was there on the beginning of Shabbos. That's the proper way. Continue. Moving foods from the edge of the blech, so from area 3, not yatzel bo, right, to the interior yatzel bo is forbidden, right? So it's different things. So you're not allowed for a move from area 3 to area 2. Moving cooked foods within the yatzel bo, right, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, even directly over the flame is permitted. So basically, as we said, this area is definite yatzel bo, and that area is definite yatzel bo. There is doing a difference, as I explained, the time by required to reach this temperature. That's it. The food moved on Shabbos from yatzel bo area to the edge of the blech may be returned to its original position if it is still warm. Okay, that's what we said before. Since it was there on Shabbos, so you can move them around. Okay. So let's. And we'll finish up. Okay. So next is number 4, stirring and spooning food from pot. That's an issue, right? Stirring. Okay. We learned in the chapter 2 that if one stirs food that has not been fully cooked, he violates the melach of bishul, right? We said that's one of the ways how to make the cooking process faster is to stir around the food, right? Stir the food. Whatever was in the bottom, usually more cooked than the food is on top, right? So you stir it and it works very well. This prohibition is also extended to fully cooked foods in certain instances. It is forbidden to stir any food, cooked food is over the flame. So over the flame, as we said, even though you are allowed in some cases to leave the food over the flame, right, completely cook, you're not allowed to stir it. It is forbidden to stir any cooked food that over the flame, even if the flame is covered by a blech. Very interesting. Okay, so not everything is allowed just because you have blech. Not everything is allowed. However, there is a difference between fully cooked food and foods that are not completely cooked. Foods that are not completely cooked may not be stirred, even if the pot is taken off the blech. So, I mean, you can leave it on a blech that they can continue cooking on its own, but you're not allowed to stir, and you're not allowed to take off. If you took off the food from the blech, you're not allowed to return, basically, on the blech, right? So one more time. Foods that are not fully cooked may not be stirred. Okay, even if the pot is taken off the blech, as long as the food temperature is yatzel bo, because we said yatzel bo is going to cook. In the case of the fully cooked foods, the prohibition applies only while the food is directly off the flame. while the food is directly over the flame. Okay. While food is directly over the flame. Thus, if the pot is lifted off the flame and moved to the part of the black not directly off the flame, one may stir the fully cooked food in the pot. Okay, so one more time, if the pot is lifted off the flame, right, or moved to the part of the black not directly off the flame, so meaning area 1 or area 3, let's say, one may stir the fully cooked food in the pot. Okay, if you need to. It should be noted that this is only halacha, in which the difference between the area of the black, between the area on the black directly over the flame, area 1, and near the flame, which is Yad Seledes Bo, area 2. So in all other instances, basically, the area 1 and area 2 are treated the same. The only difference with this stirring. So stirring meaning you cannot stir in area 1 directly above the flame, but you can move the pot away from this area, not directly above the flame, and you can stir it. So they say it's the only difference. Of course, there are the exceptions. Water and other pure liquids, for example, milk, once cooked, are exempt from this prohibition. I mean, if you stir water, how is it going to help you? If they are boiled and are still warm, these liquids may be stirred even while on a flame. Okay. I mean, because the water cooks very fast. I mean, faster than other things. So milk, I mean, you're not going to achieve anything. And usually nobody stirs the water to enhance the cooking. Okay, continue. Be spooning food from the pot. And we said then when in chapter 1, I think, or chapter 2, we discussed, so when you take off the contents of the pot, it's going to cook faster. That's the issue. Spooning food from the pot is a form of stirring, right? Okay. Of course, it's going to move around, of course. Since it is inevitable that the food will be stirred somewhat each time a spoon is inserted. Therefore, while a pot is over the flame in area 1, pot is over area 1, it is forbidden to spoon out any food, right? It is forbidden to spoon out any food, even if the food is completely cooked. So one more time, therefore, if the pot is over the flame in area 1, it is forbidden to spoon out any food, even the food is completely cooked. Instead, the pot should be lifted and moved to the area of the black that is not directly of the flame, area 2, while the food is spooned out, and then move it back. So, I mean, you can take it off the black completely if you need to, right? Or you can bring it to the table, let's say, or you can move just to area 2 and not spoon whatever food you need. For example, when serving chol on Friday night, the pot must be lifted and moved off the flame while the chol is doled out. Okay, that's a good example. Moreover, this procedure is subject to the condition of returning, chapter 6. So basically, when we take this insert from the slow cooker to take some chol, that's the issue, right? Why? Because you took it directly from the source of the heat. Of course, the chol must be completely cooked, of course. So when you want to put it back, we're going to discuss several conditions. Same way with the pot. If you put pot, you took pot from the black, and you took it to the table, and you serve everybody food or whatever you serve, and now you want to put it back to the black, there are some conditions that apply. Not always you would be allowed to return back to the black. So one more time, however, this procedure is subject to the condition of returning and not always permitted. There are cases, let's see, where once lifted, it would be forbidden to return the pot to the original position, as we said, right? For example, the pot was left on an uncovered flame. Okay, so if there is no black, as we said before, there is no permission whatsoever to put it back on a flame. Okay. In this case, so basically, if you let the pot on an open flame and it's cooking, so if you took it and you technically you don't need the blech. If you just take it off and that's it, right? So you're not planning to return. There is no problem whatsoever. You're not going to stir. Not going to take some food out of. No problem. In these cases, one is permitted to spoon food from the pot without lifting it from the flame. Okay. So one more time this case, and we're going to explain. So they said that there are cases where once lifted, it would be forbidden to return the pot to original position. An example that we gave, the pot was left on an uncovered flame. So if we take it out, we're not allowed to put it back. In these cases, one is permitted to spoon out food from the pot without lifting the pot from the flame, because that's the only way to do that. One should be careful, however, not to stir the food when inserting the spoon, meaning as gentle as possible, but to take food from the top of the pot. That's the thing. Okay. The same rules apply if the pot is too heavy to lift. That's I think it's more common case, right? It's like a big and heavy pot, especially the spots that you have that you can leave overnight, they're very thick, like cast iron or something, right? They're very heavy, so it's not so easy to lift it and move it around. Okay, so commentary. Note: solid foods are not comprised of individual pieces, are not included in the above prohibition. It is therefore permitted to cut piece of kugel when it is on fire. Okay. Likewise, it is permitted to remove pieces of food that are lying on top of the pot of food. For example, if an egg is sitting on top of the cholent, but still inside of the pot, so one may remove the egg, even though the pot is on a fire, since no food will be stirred while the egg is being removed. So if it's on top of the pot, there is no problem. Just take it off. Okay. Continue. This rule applies only to the fully cooked food. As we said, always only it must be completely cooked. If the food inside the pot is not completely cooked, it is absolutely forbidden to remove food by any methods, as this causes the remaining contents to cook more speedily. See chapter 2, as we said before, right? Because the less content, the faster is going to cook. Summary: we're almost done. It is forbidden to stir or spoon food from the pot of the fully cooked food while directly on the flame. So if it's directly on the flame, cannot stir, cannot take. The pot must first be lifted, if it's possible, right? Or moved away from the flame, as we said in area 2. From area 1. Oh, no. I apologize. No, there is no. I apologize. There is no black. No. Move from the flame, right? But in this case, as we say, move from the flame, you're not allowed to put it back. In case where it would be then permitted to return the pot to its position, a fully cooked food may be spooned out, but not stirred, while directly over the flame. So, okay, so basically that's the heter. There is permission to do that, since this person has no other choice. They don't have blech. They, I don't know, somewhere away from home. That's the only. They have only one pot, so no choices. So there is a visible situation, right? Boiled liquids, while hot, are exempt from this prohibition. So maybe meaning that you can stir, you can take off, because they're completely cooked. So part number 5, the last one. If the prohibition was violated, if a cold, fully cooked item was placed on a heat source, even the heat source was covered on Shabbos, it should be immediately be removed. In the event that it was not removed, one must wait until the item cools down, as not to benefit from the prohibited action. If the food, so let's stop here. So basically, if they put something on the black that was not supposed to be put on a blech, right? That was not on a blech before starting on the Shabbos. And then now they put on an area 2, right? So what do they have to do? Take off immediately as soon as possible. And in order not to benefit from this forbidden action, so just let it cool. After it's cool, so you can eat. If the food was improved as a result of this prohibited action, the food may not be eaten until after Shabbos, right? So, I mean, if it's just warm, so it can cool off and there is no problem. So you get exactly what you start with. But if it was improved, so only after Shabbos. Okay, so we can stop here. Bezras HaShem, we finished that chapter number 4. All right. Good night. Until tomorrow, same time, Bezras HaShem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
אני מברך את הרבנים, רגע. אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בלשונות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל מה שיפנו ישכילו ויצליחו, יזכרו לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה, איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה?
במיימי. כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית.
חזק אותו בשמי.
קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה.